So today, we're diving into a question that, well, it kind of haunts every museum, every archaeological site, and every single one of the ancient wonders of the world.
I mean, think about it. It's this incredible paradox that experts face every day. How do you save something ancient when the very act of saving it might be the thing that ruins it forever? It's an incredibly delicate, high-stakes operation.
Just look at a wonder like the Colosseum. It's not just a building, it's a survivor. It has lived through earthquakes, looting, and just the simple, relentless march of time. So the challenge isn't just about patching up a few cracks. No, it's more like a negotiation with 2,000 years of existence.
And that whole negotiation really boils down to this one core conflict. On one side, you have authenticity, this powerful drive to preserve every original stone, every ancient tool mark, the real, true essence of the monument's history. And on the other side, you have stability, the absolute, non-negotiable need to keep the structure from collapsing and to make sure it's safe for us and for generations to come. Every single decision is a balancing act between these two powerful forces.
Okay, so how do restorers even begin to solve this? Well, one of the oldest and most respected methods is to treat the whole thing like a giant, scattered puzzle.
The technique is called anastylosis. The name itself comes from ancient Greek, and it literally means to erect again. The philosophy behind it is really pure. You take the original fallen pieces of a structure, and you put them back exactly where they belong. It's this incredibly painstaking effort to reassemble history, one stone at a time.
But you can't just start guessing where things go. Back in 1964, a foundational document in conservation, called the Venice Charter, laid out some really strict rules. First, you have to prove, scientifically, what the monument originally looked like. No guesswork. Second, you have to identify the exact original position of every single piece. And third, if you absolutely have to add new material just to hold it all together, it has to be the bare minimum, and it has to look different so no one confuses the new stuff with the old.
But here's the thing. Even this super careful, respectful method has some major flaws. What if your scientific interpretation is just wrong? That mistake gets literally set in stone. The process of moving and lifting these multi-ton blocks can actually damage the very material you're trying to save. And what about this? What if a single stone was part of multiple buildings over the centuries? Which history do you choose to rebuild?
And this brings us to where this whole idea is put to the ultimate test. In Athens, the Parthenon restoration is a massive puzzle of architectural precision. You have these meticulous drawings that map every single fragment, trying to solve an ancient jigsaw where thousands of pieces are just plain missing. But then you've got a place like Angkor Wat in Cambodia, which is a puzzle of a totally different kind. They're not just reassembling temples, they're reclaiming them piece by piece from the jungle itself. It's a huge international effort to solve a puzzle scattered by nature.
But what happens when reassembling the puzzle pieces just isn't enough? What if the very ground a monument is standing on is failing? Well, that leads us to our second approach, where the most important work is the work you can't see at all.
From the outside, a historic church like this one looks serene, right? It seems preserved exactly as it has been for centuries. The goal is to keep that authentic, historic character. It looks completely untouched.
But really, it's an illusion, because beneath the surface and hidden deep inside the walls, there's a modern skeleton holding everything together. Techniques like these ground anchors are drilled deep into the earth, securing the foundation against things like earthquakes. It's a perfect fusion. You respect the past on the outside while securing it with completely invisible modern science. This invisible strength is only possible because restorers today have a toolkit of materials and knowledge that the original builders could never have even imagined.
For example, at the Parthenon, old repairs used iron clamps that rusted and actually cracked the marble from the inside. They're now being replaced with titanium, which doesn't rust. But at the Colosseum, the challenge was different. To repair it, they had to recreate Roman concrete. After a ton of analysis, they rediscovered the secret: a mix of lime and volcanic ash called pozzolana, which created a concrete so durable it has lasted 2 millennia. The new patches are designed to breathe and age exactly like the original.
And this reveals a really incredible philosophy. The new materials are designed to be sacrificial. In a future disaster, the modern titanium is actually meant to break, sacrificing itself to save the 2,500-year-old marble. The new stuff is replaceable. The ancient material is priceless.
This deep respect for the original material is now being amplified by a technological revolution that is completely changing how restoration even begins.
The first tool on site is no longer a hammer or a brush. It's a laser scanner.
The very first act is not to touch the stone, but to capture it digitally, in perfect detail.
For decades, restorers had to rely on flat, 2D photographs, which missed so much crucial information about decay and dimension. The new method, photogrammetry, uses thousands of images to build a perfect digital twin, a 3D model of the monument. This allows them to do a virtual restoration. Teams can test solutions, map every flaw, and plan the entire project on a computer before a single real stone is ever touched. It's a game changer.
So when you combine all these methods, the ancient puzzle of anastylosis, the hidden strength of modern materials, and the crazy precision of digital scanning, you realize this work is something much more than just construction.
It's an ongoing conversation between our time and all the times that came before. We're constantly asking the structure, what were you? What has happened to you? And what do you need to survive? And our ability to answer those questions just keeps evolving.
Our whole philosophy has changed over time. The 1964 Venice Charter gave us a very strict, European-centric model focused on material purity. But 30 years later, the Nara document on authenticity acknowledged a crucial fact. Authenticity means different things in different cultures. For a Japanese Shinto shrine that's ritually rebuilt every generation, authenticity is in the process and technique, not the original wood. This shifted our global conversation toward a more inclusive and nuanced understanding.
And this leaves us with a final critical question. Every choice, every titanium rod, every digital scan, every stone put back in its place is a decision about which version of the past gets handed down. As we preserve history, we aren't just saving it, we are shaping it. And so we have to ask ourselves, what future are we building for our past?